Hello. In this video, I'll be going over how to wall run the entirety of the map without touching any trees, and some odds and ends to go along with it. So tips for certain bits of the wall, tips for places where you can just kind of sit on the wall perpetually if that's your thing, or fun little places to trick your friends like up there. Yeah. Let's get started. So first kind of bit. First kind of option is, where do you start? So realistically, I've done this so many times, and I've been working on it for so long that I could probably start from anywhere. Ideally, you want to get to that point because it really doesn't matter. I could start from this branch right here and just be able to pick up right on my route, or I could start from, I don't know, a tree somewhere over here. I could start from this branch and be able to find my way around. I should be able to do it from anywhere to anywhere, and you should be able to too, once you get the hang of the actual motions. So the place I like to teach people to start is stump, because if you really want to and you don't want to be a super perfectionist, you can just cut out kind of this bit of the map. So you could finish there and start here, or if you're left-handed and you want to try left-handed, start here and end here. I like to do the entire map start to finish, so like if this is the first place I touch the wall, this is the last place I touch the wall. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to get started. So it's kind of a couple main bits. You have this wall here up until that crack there. You have that crack to the wall, and then the Lucio wall up until where it kind of like curves and then it sticks out and then it goes across. And then you have the little bit where it sticks out, goes across, and then cuts back in. That's a whole part in itself. And then you have that bit of the wall, and then you have this bit of the wall. Starting off with the first bit, you should really start from anywhere on here. This is a fine place to start. All you need to do is get to the wall to start. That's all you really need. Obviously, some prerequisites for doing this would be knowing how to wall run, and that's it. You don't need a wall climb if you're doing it right, but you also have to understand like slants and walls. So like this wall is slightly slanted, so I can pull myself into the wall, and I can kind of sit here forever. So that's another something to understand, and something you need to understand before starting. So first things first, get to the wall, and you notice these walls are kind of inverted, and you can't really hit on them forever. So you can drop down a little bit to where the walls kind of come up in this little V here. You can kind of see it down there. And these walls are really easy to go on, and they're really easy to hit off of. You just kind of want to hit around that corner right here. Whoop. So you just kind of want to hit around this bit. You can take a step in real life and you want to land on this huge slant bit and take it all the way to the top. And from here, throw yourself across this slanted bit, pull yourself all the way up. Here you have a couple options. You can just kind of fly straight across and hope you don't fall, or you can take your time and stick to the top and get across. If you weren't sticking to the top, then it would look a little something like you get up to here, and then you just start going for speed, and you might end up a little lower. I did it pretty well that time. And then from this point, so ideally you're up here. If you're down here, that's fine. If you're really low, like if you somehow made it all the way to down here, you can just wall climb back up to where you need to be. And then just keep going, following the slant of the wall. This bit's kind of easy to sit on, and then you can't stay at the top anymore because the wall kind of flattens out. So what I like to do is jump to this bit, take one hit or two hits off the wall until I can catch myself on this kind of inward slant. And then for that motion, I was reaching kind of around the wall. So I was reaching around the wall and just pulling myself around it. So I was just pulling myself into the wall. Didn't really matter where I like stuck my hand around. I just stuck my hand around the wall, put it on the flat face of the wall, and pulled it across. Even though it wasn't lined up with my body, it still works. Now this is the hardest part in many people's eyes. There's two ways to do it. Well, there's three. One, there's the chicken. Chicken is hopping on the trees and going across. The second, which is the most recommended, but the hardest, second hardest. So the trees is the easiest. This way is the way I'm going to recommend. Woo! It is pinch climbing and onto this bit right here, and throwing yourself to the next bit and to the next bit. So yeah, that's really not easy, but let's see if I can get it first try. So you want to go up to it, this crack, throw yourself, you can catch into a pinch climbing position. You don't need to sit here forever, you can immediately throw yourself. Oh, and then from here, it's kind of picture like you're grabbing a box, you're holding a box in your hands, and you're throwing that box to the right. If you need to, you can take a little touch there. Same thing, throw the box to the right, and catch your hands. If I remember, I'll slow that down so you can see that again. Just getting back around to show the other way. So it's like grabbing the box, or grabbing a box like that, and then immediately throwing the box to your right, catching another box. Ooh, I should just go to the ground. Catching another box and then throwing it to your right again. In the middle, if you're kind of falling in between, you can take a little hit straight down, but if you start pushing yourself away from the wall or out, you're not going to make it. So just go straight up and a little smidgen out. Next way is the hardest way. I don't recommend this at all, unless you're really good at slipperies. But you go up on slippery. I don't know if I'm going to get it first try. Up to the top. I can't believe I did that first try. And throwing yourself all the way up and across. That is not something I'm going to go over in great detail. I'll go over that one spot in a minute after we finish the rest of the map and kind of explain how to do that, but again, that's not what I recommend. And from here, you just catch yourself here. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Once you get to this side, just immediately fling yourself across and get as high as you can. If you need a wall climb here, that's fine. Whatever it is, get yourself all the way to the top. Scoot yourself onto the edge there, toss yourself to here, where it's kind of slanted, you can sit here forever. Get to the edge, pull yourself in with that wall, and hit off this bit. Ooh. And then from this bit right here, just jumping straight to this bit, catching yourself. There's a couple little tricks here that I'll show later. Stick your hand on the other side, then straight across, hit off the inverted bit. That'll take some practice. You can catch yourself here, and then throw yourself to here, and keep going. And now you have kind of the last semi-difficult bit. It's here, you want to come down. It's really hard to see, but it kind of goes in. The wall crack kind of goes up, and then it has a little angle in it here. It goes up this way, and then it goes there. So there and there. If you want to aim for this, stick your hand on the other side of it, pull yourself in, hit once off that wall, and then straight up and catch yourself. It is not easy to do the first time, but it's easy to get the hang of once you do it a couple times, because there's no variation in this. If you always start at the same spot, you'll always end up at the same spot. Again, looking for this little angle, you'll get better at spotting it. Hand on the other side, wall up, might need a second tiny hit, and then catch yourself, wiggle across the top. Here you can jump to there if you're not a super perfectionist, but I am. Keep scooting across the wall, pull at an angle, and the rest is really easy. Then you can again jump to there, but I said I like to end where I start. So from here, keep going here, same little thing. There's like a little angle up, and then it kind of tilts out a little more. Stick your hand around, pull. There's this little bit here. You can easily continue from here by throwing yourself and aiming right here and continuing. Or you can just simply jump to here. So that's a brief summary of how to do all the walls. So just some little notes. This whole bit, repetitious, that's the easiest way to do it. Just remember to keep pulling yourself with the wall. You get to here. Remember the weird little, remember that you need to kind of wiggle yourself so you get past this crack here and onto this crack before you can pull yourself around the wall. For this bit, remember, catch the box, throw the box, catch the box, and then throw the box again. If you do fall, not the end of the world, hit off a branch, and keep going. This bit, not that bad, and it's not as hard as most people think. There's a couple of little tricky spots, but it's not that bad. So now I'm going to go over some just kind of funny odds and ends with walls. So for example, up here, remember I said easiest way is just to jump to a branch. The way I recommend second hardest, catch the box, throw the box. When I say box, you are literally pretending like you're catching a box. You're not squeezing your hands together, because then your hands slide off like that. Catching the box, tossing it that way, grabbing another, and then just kind of letting your hand catch it. The hardest way, the way I did right at the start, to get back across this way, is the opposite of what I just did. So going over it in more detail, mainly because I just didn't want to fall. You want to get up on the wall right about here at the latest. If you're really good at walls and it's slippery walls, you could get up to slipperies here and have a little bit of an advantage, but not much. Then from here, you just want to keep slapping yourself up to, that's hard. This is why I don't recommend it. You want to keep going. From there, all the way up until a little crack here. Stick your hand around. And you can pull yourself up. And then once you kind of slap yourself around it there, you can take one last hit off the edge and throw yourself into this wall. You can also do this, which is always kind of funny if you want to troll your friends or something. You can go up onto this bit that's a little slanted, come to the end, hit there, and you can now camp on slippery walls for an infinite amount of time. And it's not incredibly easy to hold. You can find a rhythm to it, and that'll help. So, something to note about slippery walls, your hand will stick to them, but you'll fall slightly, and you'll never get any traction. If you notice initially, my hand slips, and then it catches. Your hand only sticks if it's not moving. So if my hand's moving a little bit, I slide faster. If it's not moving at all, I'll slide for a second, and then I'll come to a really slow fall. And the way to kind of hit yourself up repeatedly and stay, split second until your hand starts to slow like that, push down hard, same thing. You're going in like an oval this way, so the bottom side of the oval is against the wall, then rotate and bring your hands up, just kind of like that. You need a little flick of the wrist at the bottom to keep yourself going. It's not easy, but it's fun. I have a friend who's not that good at the game. I did that to him. Sat there for maybe 20 minutes while he was just trying to figure it out. Funny, not a nice thing to do. Let's see. Covered all that. Oh yeah, and then there's one other little trick. I fell. There's one other little trick over here on this bit of the wall that involves this branch. So if you look from here to right across the wall, you'd probably think there's no way you could jump from there to here. You can easily jump from here to there, but there's definitely no way to jump from the wall to that branch. Well, you'd be wrong. And it's really hard to replicate the first time you see it. But give it a try. So once you're at this bit over here, so just for reference, you just pulled yourself around this corner here. You know what, I'll just go all the way back to this bit. So you're coming across here, up to here, pull yourself across, wiggling your way across the top of the wall, hit here, and then here, and you're right about there. So now you need to go to the other side of this wall, catch your hand right here, fling forward and aim for right here, hit up, and then off the wall, or off the slippery wall, once you're at the apex of your jump, you have to go straight up. You can't go any out, you can't go any in, forward, back. Has to do it perfectly, and you'll land on this branch. Not the easiest thing in the world, but it is really fun, because then if they fall, boom, you're all the way up here, and they're all the way down there. You can hop back on the wall and do it left-handed. You can do some other stuff, but let me think. I think that's just about it. So that is how to do it with your right hand. Now I'm going to try it with my left hand. No guarantees if I get this all at once. Maybe it'll end up just being a time lapse at the end of the video. Who knows? But I know there's a couple people who prefer left-handed. So for those people, I'm going to show you how to do it left-handed. And it's always cool to know how to do things left and right-handed. Let's say you're being followed across this wall. You notice the lava monkey's kind of low and you're all the way up at the top. You can just turn around and do the wall backwards. He probably couldn't follow you. So starting this way, let's start in the same spot. Normally I'd probably start elsewhere or just not really start at all, but starting here, up onto the wall, just pulling yourself into the wall as much as you can. That corner, you're just pulling yourself into the wall. Here, just stay high. And same kind of principles as doing this with your right hand. Just tuck into the wall. Here, grab the wall. You're aiming to go right there, and then tug here. Whoa. I need to go a little right hand. Ooh. And then try to get higher with almost vertical, but you can go out with your vertical here. And still kind of scooting yourself across the top of the wall here. Pulling in again, catching yourself on all these slanted in bits. Now, I probably have a better chance of going up, but that is still incredibly hard, but I just do it often, so I'm going to try this way. Ah! No. Okay, so I didn't make that. It is possible to do this way. So you swing. Catch yourself on there. Same kind of principles. I'm going to try it one more time. If I can't get it, I'll show the top way that I already technically showed at the beginning. Here, catch, throw, little hit, there, and I did it. See, it's not impossible. All the way up, this little crack here, it's permanently your friend. You're pulling around both those sides there. So when the wall was kind of sticking out, sticking out kind of like that, like my hand is right now, just reached around. So if I was right where my thumb is almost, it's like here, reached around and just stuck my hand on the other side. No! Okay, thank God. I didn't want to have to do this again. So in here, again, stay high. Follow the top bit from here. You can just yeet yourself over here. Keeping the high bits, this gets weird. Like, just weirdly hard. And boom, you're back to the start. I think this is where, yeah, I didn't start over there. And boom, there you go. I would have shown how to do the little slippery bit up there again, but I did when I was going back the first time, so you can use that as an example. It's the same thing. You're going up to right at the corner of the slippery wall and the normal wall, slapping in, you're just doing this as hard as you can, and scooting yourself across the top. That's kind of it. Left hand and right hand tutorial for while running the map. Have fun with it, mix it up. If you can do it really well with your right hand, try your left hand. Yeah. That about does it. If you don't know how to wall run or wall climb, I have a video on that. I'm not going to say it's the best in the world, but it's decent. And it shows you how to do everything necessary to wall run the map. And digs a little more into detail about finding these slanted out bits that you could just kind of chill on forever and pulling yourself into the wall. Does a pretty good job of explaining that. So yeah, that is it. Bye.